you a fucking Jew? Good. Yeah, sit down. I'll tell you a thing or two. You're lucky you ran into me. I like the look of you. You know why? I saw you walking down the street and you were whistling. Nobody in America whistles. Let me tell you, the Russians. In Russia, it's not like this. They know a thing or two. The Russians sing while they walk. They walk down the street and they sing at the top of their lungs. I heard you whistling. That says to me I can trust you. I'll tell you a thing or two. The first rule is, never tell anyone your real name. You look to me like an Andrew. No, not Andrew. A Harry. Harry is the best name. Always trust a Harry. If you walk by a place, Harry's laundromat, Harry's convenience store, you go in there. You can always trust a Harry. Harry Stone. That's a good name. My name's Charlie. It's not my real name. I'm writing a letter to the submarine admiral. Do you know we're at war, Harry? They don't tell you everything. The Iranians are the ones you gotta watch out for. You know what they use, Harry? You won't believe it. Bats. Bats, Harry. Bats, bees, and mosquitoes. Have you noticed there are more mosquitoes than ever before, Harry, this summer? The Iranians are bringing them over. It's how they're making us slow. Slow and stupid. Even more than we made ourselves, Harry. How are they doing it? Have you heard of Nikola Tesla? A genius, yeah. You know him, Harry? Most Americans don't know Nikola Tesla. It's good, Harry. The Russians, however, they're smart. They took him seriously. They built coils all over the world. They were ready. They sold the technology to the Iranians, and that's how they're bringing the bats and bees and mosquitoes over here. They follow the current, Harry. They make clouds. This is the kind of thing Americans could never do. We're a weak people, Harry. If only one Russian was remaining, if one Russian was alive, they'd activate the Tesla coil, and that would be the end of everything. That's dedication. Americans don't sing. They listen to the bullshit on the radio. Sex addiction, Harry. We're a nation addicted to sex. We don't care about things like the Russians do. They understood something, and the Iranians too. That's exactly why we need to hit the Iranians right now, right hard, blow them off the map. I'm writing a letter. Tell me, Harry, how many things can you think at once? Just answer the fucking question, Harry. Good, see, you're smart, Harry. If you just loosen up, don't be evasive, Harry. Just tell me what you think. You were exactly correct. You can only think one thought at a time, one thought and one thought only. Brave men can only think one thought at a time, and that one thought you think is your God. Do you take drugs, Harry? Marijuana? Forget marijuana, Harry. Amphetamines. I can see you're prejudiced against them. You know, it's a commandment to take amphetamines in the army. Harry, look at you. You're so guilty. Don't smoke any more of that Vietnamese marijuana. You've been smoking it. I can tell from experience they give you guilty hallucinations. Oh, Harry. You're a Jew, aren't you, Harry? Oh, I knew it the whole time. You lied to me. I should have fucking killed you. I tell you, Harry, the first time I killed a man without a badge was a fucking Jew on the subway because he made me feel like my life was meaningless. You might be the guiltiest Jew I ever seen, but at least you don't make me feel like my life is meaningless. Harry, are you a homosexual? Do dreams count? What do you think, Harry? If you have a homosexual dream, does that make you a homosexual? No. See, Harry, never lie. If you don't want to say something, just ask them, do dreams count? And then, of course, they only think you dreamed it once. Dreams are important, Harry. I've done almost everything in my dreams. Now, I'm not a homosexual, but I know that you can't trust women. You can't trust men either. But if you can't talk to men, then you go crazy. I give you 1 year, Harry. This is what I did for myself. I gave myself 1 year, and after that, no more women. No more of the sex addiction that's destroying America. Don't you think that if people are unhappy with their lives, if they're trapped and addicted, they ought to die? Harry, just tell me what you think. Don't worry about what I think. If you tell me something I haven't heard, you're going to be a millionaire. After all, you're talking to the guy who's about to change everything, Harry, everything. I'm writing a letter. They don't know what I know. I was in the army. Frankie Vanilla was the best guy. We grew up in the Bronx together. Tough guy. He always had 2 boys on either side of him protecting him. Played stickball, baseball. You like baseball, Harry? I was one of the greatest athletes that ever lived, but Frankie, well, after we were in the army, Frankie started making money. And I started thinking, now, Frankie has $9 billion, but I came out ahead. I was sitting in my apartment on the couch, my God started talking to me. This was the first time my God had talked to me. And he said, Frankie Vanilla is a motherfucking child rapist and murderer. I couldn't believe it, not Frankie Vanilla, but it was true. So I wrote him a letter. Because I know that he had $9 billion and a child rapist is the worst thing you can be in America. And he'd be willing to part with $8 billion of it just to keep me quiet. I can't ask too many questions of my God, Harry. Falling in love with God is the most important thing. Like if he says, Harry, go to the movies, then you go to the movies. There isn't a feeling like it. So I sent Frankie a letter. Then I sent him another letter, nothing. But I got his attention. I started getting followed, but I wasn't afraid. Because I was in the FBI, I had my badge. This was after I was in the Army. You know how the FBI operate? I'll tell you, Harry. I'll educate you. I met with them and they handed me my badge, my license to kill. And they said, do what you will. You have free reign, total discretion. This is how they work. They want to see how you operate. They're out for profit like anybody else. So I thought, where is all this profit, Harry? See, I was smart. I immediately went to Caesars in Las Vegas. Because I says to myself, these are sex profits, more money than anyone ever needs. They must be up to no good. When you're guilty, Harry, everyone knows it. They can see it on your face, evasive. When you're guilty, Harry, people can make you do anything. I knew this, so I went to Caesars. I never gambled a dime, got me a room. Very expensive room, Harry, on the FBI's tab. So they brought women to me, Harry, women and champagne. I didn't drink a drop. I told the women, I turned to the women, I said, I need to see the manager. And they did. One of them went out and they came back with the manager, a big Jew. I said, I'm FBI, you son of a bitch. I know what goes on here. I know all about it. I showed him my badge, my gun, and I said, I'll keep quiet for now, but I need cash. You should have seen the look on his face, Harry. He was trying to talk me down. He was trying to distract me from my purpose, Harry. He was using the women. I brought up my gun. Bam! Bam, Harry! That got him running. He came back with a briefcase full of money. He knew what was good for him. I'll be back, you motherfucker, I said. But as I was leaving the casino, the FBI men showed up and they came up to me. I showed them my badge. They said, good work, soldier. And I felt something behind me. I felt a gun at my back. They took the briefcase, of course. They take everything. And then I was back in New York. And my God said to me, I've had enough. You're going to have to kill Frankie Vanilla. And I said, please, God, not Frankie Vanilla. Frankie Vanilla is a beautiful man. But there I was. I was outside the big building where I worked. And I got him to come down. I called him up. I said, Frankie, it's your old friend Charlie. We got to talk. How could you, he said to me. You know how it goes, I said to him. I must have killed 7 or 8 people, Harry, but Frankie got away. Frankie got away because I was distracted, Harry. I had the first vision I ever had, which was at the corner of 108th and Broadway. I was standing there and all of a sudden I started rising up into the air. I saw all my clothes, they were dropping away. And I was floating there in my boxers and my socks and my shoes, and I could see everything around me. And then fire came down and ice and fire and ice, Harry. And then the evil God came down and he stole away my youth. I was one beautiful motherfucker, Harry. This was about 3 or 4 years ago. People would turn and stare when I went past. This was in my 20s. And when I came down, many years had passed. And now you see me as I am. This is what an evil God can do. Harry, I'm going to do for you what I did for my boys in the Army. I made my boys do all one thing. The first thing, do you have a phone, Harry? Take it out right now and call your mother. I want you to ask her why she hates you. Just ask her and see what she says, Harry. You have to realize something about the world. All mothers hate their sons. You need to learn that for yourself. Call her up right now. A woman will never take your left hand. Do you know what the biggest lie is? They say that God's love is like a mother for her son. It's the biggest lie there is. The biggest lie. You won't do it, Harry? Do it someday. You'll have to do it someday. And then you won't be such a guilty-looking motherfucker, Harry. Then you can think of just one thing. Just one thing at a time. Thanks.